Hey, welcome back to another episode of Ask the Attorney. I'm your host, Alex Alexander with the Keiko Ad Agency. Today, I'm excited to bring Scott Kotler with Kotler Law and skotlerlaw.com. Welcome, Scott. How are you doing today, man?
Doing great. Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Hey, you know what? I've been on your website a few times. Obviously, it's the skotlerlaw.com. And I noticed there's some pretty cool things about how you guys do business. And the very first thing I'm going to bring up is it's a multi-language. Obviously, there's a lot of English and Spanish here. And by the way, you're out of Florida. Tell me, what other languages you guys can consult in?
Well, as a result of being in what I call a mixing pot here in South Florida, I found that having the ability to speak beyond English and Spanish and get to the market that is prevalent down here as well is Russian, Ukrainian, Slovakian. So there's a number of European dialects that we have the ability to speak both with people in the office and to be able to communicate with our clients that speak those languages.
That is completely unique, right? And I think that's one of the really cool little things that set you guys apart. The fact that you have that ability. I mean, obviously, here in Florida, we have a huge, Spanish culture, but people don't take into effect the how many other cultures there are that have properties and businesses that are here in Florida, especially in the southern portion of it. So you guys are based out of Miami, is that correct?
That's correct. We're here in Miami, Florida. Okay.
So your typical day at the office, right? What areas do you typically work in? What is there a geographical? Do you work whole state? Do you work from XYZ down? What's your typical day look like?
Well, I'm admitted in the state of Florida. I'm also admitted inactive in Washington, D.C., but it's essentially the South Florida area. I can practice in state or federal court, licensed in both, but usually my primary area would be Miami, a little bit north up into Fort Lauderdale. Sometimes I'll have clients that want me up in West Palm. I'll go up there and down to the Keys. Usually Key Largo, which is about an hour away. But again, if the client wants me, I'll go down to Key West. So pretty much West Palm to Key West would be my zone for state court. Federal, a little more diverse. It depends on the case. It depends on the client. But technically, anywhere in the state of Florida.
Excellent, excellent. So if I were going on to the skotlerlaw.com, what should I know about you? I think you had a history. You started out, I think it was as a assistant state's attorney, didn't you?
I did. I started right out of law school in 1987. I was privileged enough to get a job offer by Janet Reno, who was the Dade County state attorney at the time. And I did that for 4 years as an assistant state attorney. Janet went on a little bit after me to become our attorney general for Bill Clinton. But I went on to jump over to the other side and in 1991 started doing criminal defense and opened up a practice doing that. And that's what I've done for the last 29 years.
So let's just give a real broad stroke to what would be encompassed under criminal defense. I mean, some people think, when they think, and again, it's just mindsets, right? When someone thinks criminal defense, oh, I must be charged with murder or something like that. Obviously, that would be included. But give me more of a broad stroke as to how someone can use you for criminal defense.
Okay. I'll get things where a doctor, dentist gets a ticket, speeding, something like that. You would think not a big deal, but having an attorney that knows what they're doing can make a difference. So it can be something as small as a ticket. Now, that's not a large part of my practice. I do a lot of DUI work. I will handle a lot of drug cases, including drug trafficking, anything burglary, robbery, murder, anything that essentially will cause you to get arrested and be behind bars. I will also represent people that are getting investigated. So they get a call from law enforcement or a letter from the Department of Justice. They're under investigation. They can contact me. I can help them. I can guide them and hopefully avoid an arrest.
So basically, like you said, if you're being charged with a crime other than, well, I guess at this point you included some speeding tickets, so that could be there too. But primary focus, right? You're charged with a crime that could land you in jail, then you're the guy to call. And so if you're within that 30, we'll call it the 305, maybe a little north, maybe a little south, but if you're within that area, then Scott Kotler is the guy that you want to call, and you want to go to skotlerlaw.com and figure it out together. Is that correct?
Correct. Interestingly enough, and some lawyers, some people have told me I'm crazy, but I put my cell phone out there. If you were to Google my name and you were to Google attorney, you could literally get my cell phone. And the reason I do it is you never know when you're going to get arrested or when you can have a problem. So I can't work 9 to 5. I've got to work 24/7. I'll get calls at 2, 3 in the morning. It's the nature of the beast. It's what I do. I don't mind it. I enjoy it. And it's a competitive market out there. If I don't answer that phone, unless they've got some connection to me, they're moving on to the next lawyer. So I literally put my cell phone out there. And yes, if you were to go to my site, you'll find me. You'll get to me immediately.
Excellent. Awesome. I want to thank you for that. I want to thank, there's not a lot of guys that are willing to put their cell phone out there. So thank you for that. But I want to thank everyone for tuning into this episode of Ask the Attorney. If you'd like to learn more about Scott Kotler and Kotler Law, go to iwantobuzz.com. And of course, you can go to skotlerlaw.com. We're going to see you next time. And I want you to do something good for yourself and do something good for others.